You know, when you turn from darkness to the light, you receive a change of address. You will no longer live in darkness. Your new living space is where your new life is born, in Christ. And your existence only continues in Him. John 15:4, abide in me and I in you. And it also says you can produce nothing unless you abide in me. John 15:5 says, for outside of me you can do nothing. This is where your life exists, where your purpose to the Father is served, and where your light shines. There is no existence of light outside of Christ. It can only shine on the world to convict, but it cannot exist here. You live in Christ only. John 17:16. They are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. You see, you're in the world, but as children of the light, you cannot live here. Acts 17:28. Because in Him we live and move and have our being. Now God has determined 3 things for you before this life: those that belong to His Son and live in Him, the time of your salvation, and your place of habitation. Acts 17:25. God has determined the times before appointed, and the boundaries of their habitation. Only in Him exists both life and light. In John 1:4 it says, in Him was life, and life was the light of men, and His life was given for you. Job 3:23. Why is light given to a man whose way is hid, in whom God has hedged in? And this is the answer: for your life. And you will have nothing in common with darkness. 2 Corinthians 6:14. What fellowship has righteousness with unrighteousness? And what common ground does light have with darkness? Those that find common ground with this world, God calls foolish. Job 5:3. I have seen the foolish taking root, and suddenly his habitation is cursed. You know, men, just as angels, can leave their habitation. It is their free will. In Jude 6, it describes it as the angels that would not keep their first estate, but left their own habitation, and they are reserved in chains. You leave your habitation when you try to exist in both worlds. For angels, it was to exist both in the heavenly realm and on the earthly realm. For man, it is both light and darkness. You cannot choose to live in both spaces. Job 5:4. His children are far from safety and are crushed in the gates. Neither is there any to deliver them. You know, those that attempt to exist in both places get crushed in the gates of boundaries. And for both men and angels, once you receive the light and reject that habitation, who can deliver you? Job 5:5. Whose harvest the hungry eats up and takes it out of the thorns, and the robbers swallow up their substance. Now this is the foolishness waiting for those that are of the light, that would find common ground in the habitation of darkness and take root there. You that are of the light are God's harvest. When you step out and become entangled in the cares of this world once again, the hungry of this dark space will pull you from the thorns and devour all that you are. They will make merchandise of you, and these robbers will swallow up your substance. This is how it happens for the prodigal. They lose their light, lose their substance, and then they lose their existence in Christ. Luke 15:31. Your brother was lost. This is their condition without light. It also says in that verse that your brother was dead. And without light, your existence in Christ dies. In Luke 15:13 it says, not many days in this far country, his substance was wasted. This is the bitter end of foolishness. But when you return to the Father, He can return to you the light. But your existence will have to continue in His Son. This is food that I provided to my family for years. I want to now provide it to you. I hope you'll share it with a friend. If you like it, I'll provide more. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.